This is lesson 1-2, order of operations and evaluating expressions. Some vocabulary that we need to discuss. It will most likely be a review for you. The base, when we talk about the base, it is the number or variable that's being multiplied. When we talk about an exponent that's attached to a base, it's the number of times to multiply the base by itself. The exponent is always the number that's in the air. The entire term, which is the base and the exponent itself, is called a power. So here's an example. So we have 5 to the 4th power, 5 being the base, 4 being the exponent, and this entire term right here is called a power. So what does this mean? We want to take the base and multiply it by itself, however many times the exponent says to. If your expression is all numerical, you must evaluate it. For example, 5 to the 4th power is 5 times 5 times 5 times 5. And when I do that in the calculator, it's 625. When you're doing your work, you do not need to show me all of the multiplication that you are doing. You simply just need to write the answer. X to the 4th will be x times x times x times x. If they ask you to expand x to the 4th, that is what you have to write. In math, we have to follow a certain order of operations to obtain any correct answer. To help us remember that order of operations, we use the mnemonic device known as PEMDAS. PEMDAS goes in this particular order. Parentheses are first, followed by exponents. The next part's a little bit harder to remember, but because these are related operations, they are done at the same time from left to right. That's multiplication and division. Addition and subtraction, because they are also like operations, are also done at the same time, going from left to right. So what we're looking at here is going through each expression 1, 2, 3, and 4 times before we get our final answer. So there is a possibility that you have 4 steps for any of these simplifying of expression. Here are some examples for you to try on your own. Pause the video at this point to give yourself a chance to try them on your own. Let's take a look at the first example. 80 minus 4 times the quantity 7 minus 5. The first thing I need to do is take care of what's inside the parentheses, and that's 7 minus 5, which is 2. The next thing I will do is multiply the 4 and the 2, and I get 8. And finally, I'll subtract 80 and 8 to get 72. Each of your problems, when you're doing them on the worksheet, should be looking like this, where it's wide at the top and narrow at the bottom, almost in the form of a triangle. Here's example number 2 that I asked you to do. You need to take care of the parentheses first, and I take care of both sets going from left to right. 4 plus 1 is 5. 8 minus 5 is 3. Then I will use my exponents. 5 squared is 25. 3 to the 3rd power is 27. I'll then do multiplication of the 6 times 25 to get 150. And then I will add the 150 and 27 to get 177. Here's example number 3. Again, in order, taking care of the parentheses first. 8 minus 7 is 1. followed by taking care of an exponent. 1 squared is 1. Then I'm going to take care of multiplication and division at the same time, going from left to right. 28 divided by 4 is 7. 2 times 1 is 2. 5 times 3 is 15. Then I will take care of the subtraction and addition going from left to right. 7 minus 2 is 5. And then 5 plus 15 is 20. When we're evaluating algebraic expressions, it pretty much becomes what we call plug and play. We'll take the values given and plug them in for each variable. If you are using a calculator, and you should be, please make sure that you are keeping parentheses as much as possible when replacing variables with numbers. Next, follow the order of operations and simplify. You do have to show all of your work. I would not put the entire string into a calculator. It can cause a lot of confusion. I would be doing it step by step, just as we did with the last PEMDAS example. Finally, make sure you check your arithmetic with a calculator so that you are not making simple mistakes. Signs can get very much lost in problems like these. Here's an example. Evaluate a, b, and c squared if a is -6, b is 2, and c is -1. Pause the video at this point to give yourself a chance to try it on your own. So the first thing that we're going to do is plug in -6 for A, 2 for B, and -1 for C. I evaluate -1 squared first to get a +1, and then I will multiply through all the way to get -12 times 1, which is -12. If you're having any issues with any portion of this particular lesson, please make sure you are emailing me or consulting me in class.